Peace to all beings. Mercy to all beings. The understanding now is coming. What the consciousness of humanity, that's everyone on the planet we're talking of now. You've been walking through, since the time of Moses, the book of Leviticus, with the educations and the warnings involved. Now this is going to be a difficult process for us to explain to you in simple words that you will understand. You're in a new time and space, those of you listening to this, and you've got to become aware of things different than you in the manner of space, the dignities of all entities around you. Right now I'll tell you where you are in that book of Leviticus. You're at verse 18:22, and you're walking toward the end through these experiences. These are warnings and educations, and as you read it, you'll realize the mistakes you've gone through in your past. Not only this lifetime, because this lifetime is what you term the karma experience. It's more than that. Once you understand karma, you behave yourself. You take on a different dignity and understand who's really teaching you. And it's the Divine Eternal Father through His Holy Son, Jesus. You've got to make yourself aware of these circumstances that you're in. Psalm 6 is one of the strongest prayers for self-protection, especially the 10th verse in the asking of the enemies to be ashamed, and not only in the physical enemies things, because you've got a lot of enemies in the astral that try to influence your thoughts about who you are, where you came from, and what you're supposed to do. The Divine Eternal Father has a little line for you. It has. And the mother is who's teaching it. That's why the rosary is important. Just to learn it can be an exceptional experience. And once you pray the beads store the memory of the images that you're going to receive. So as you walk with the rosary, you simply hold the beads and you get the memory back of what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, and how you're supposed to interact with beings. That's all of nature. And you've got to remember your consciousness in what you term your United States, in this understanding, is different than the consciousness of other countries. You have to understand that. And you have to understand why you chose to be born and placed in this, what is termed, the land of the free. It's a reasonable assumption when you understand free will and when you understand thy will be done thing in the holy prayer. You begin to accustom yourself to the space around you, and the space around you accustoms itself to you. And everyone proceeds in what you call an orderly manner, because you have responsibilities each to do, and you carry out those responsibilities, and you sleep well during the night, and you go to the next day, and you do your responsibilities. You have developed within the consciousness of your spiritual self, physical self, and the third self, the Holy Spirit one, of what you say, procedures, routines. You do the routine and you stay in your space. You're doing the routine, you stay in your space. You're growing as you know the power of your space in your routine and the beings within it. You will therefore create a sense of safety. And you then begin to understand this thought processes that you're receiving from others around you, your influence, your TV, and your media thing. We've told you before, thoughts are things, entities. Are they yours, or are they coming from somewhere else? The place for the inner thought is the meditation one within your solar plexus, meditating on it. Well, you would term it the Buddha one, but it's more than that. It's a consciousness walking through the 7 chakras at the same time. Each chakra acknowledging each other chakra, and not for dominance, but for the active presence of the structure, what you term your bones, which is the blessing receives from the Holy Spirit, which produces your blood. That's where you are now. So you're going to need to understand the Holy Spirit in the manifestation of blood in your bones. You're going to learn to have to talk to your blood, literally. Those blood cells, you say, red blood cells, white blood cells, they're individual units of consciousness within you. They're part of your breath and part of your sacred beingness of knowledge of self. So the dignity of all things in your environment needs to be recognized. This is the exposure that's coming on now. You're going to have to understand that. I'm directing these things for you so you can get an idea of the significance of your pertinent life at this time on this planet, you individually. You're going to have to recognize that. Ask for forgiveness, peace to all beings, and mercy to all beings, because no one has any idea what's going to happen in what you call your coming months. Only the Father knows. So you're going to need to get your prayers in order and be in your safe space and understand what you call the significance of your birthday in this time. And I was particularly going to mention the day of birth, because there's a significance in that number, and it applies to your personality. Just that number, the day of your birth. Blessings, peace to all beings, and mercy for those that don't know.